Why? Hello and welcome everybody. Also good morning. So today I wanted to go ahead and give you guys the Righteous Fire Paladin for those of you guys who want the easier route to level 90 on a build that feels pretty sturdy and is not the Bog Shaman. With that being said, for the Bog Shaman, I did make some budget setups you can find in the loadout section. You can find those over here on my website. But with that being said, let's talk about the Righteous Fire Paladin and why I think players should be playing this over the Bog Shaman or even Scavenger. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. You just go to Pohx.net, click that link right there, and you've got the POB. So yesterday we were kind of cooking this up for players who, who want to play Righteous Fire because they're comfy with it, but they want to play the budget Righteous Fire build. Now, Phrecia happens to literally shuffle every single Ascendancy with something brand new. So it's a little, we had to kind of like really figure out what Ascendancy would offer you the best bang for your buck. And we ended up on Paladin. And honestly, I was leaning towards Paladin a year ago when they launched the event, but Scavenger had the built-in explode, and that's kind of what made me want to go for that instead. Scavenger did get a bit nerfed, but regardless of it getting nerfed, I think Paladin will just be better for newer players. So first off, if you look at the tree, you are basically like my old builds, right? If you've played my Righteous Fire Chieftain and you're aware of like going block-based and stuff, this is very, very at home for you. This is very similar. The only difference is where you start on the tree. That's about it. I mean, once you path out here, you're good to go. I thought like taking Golem's Blood would be good, but unless you're really trying to be more tanky, the extra points are just not really worth it right away. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So what Paladin offers you, right, is the first thing you want to look at is right here, Anointed Champion. Now, Anointed Champion is incredibly strong. If you guys have ever played Righteous Fire Inquisitor before, that built-in Consecrated Ground that lingers with you is permanent uptime on Consecrated Ground. This notable right here, Ascendancy point, is equivalent to an Uber drop known as Rational Doctrine. You're not going to be getting Uber drops in the campaign, so Anointed Champion is incredibly strong. Not to mention, if you come and look in the config changes here, I'm just going to disable my webcam. Paladin actually comes with the added effect of 50% increased effect of consecrated ground you create. And the reason this is important, I got to remove this from the config. The reason this is important is this is scaling the percent regen it grabs, or it gives you. Not to mention, it's also scaling the curse effect reduction built into Consecrated Ground. Alright, next point for the Paladin. So, next up, you've got Light of Divinity, which straight up makes mobs take increased Ellie. As we all know, Righteous Fire is the element of fire, therefore Light of Divinity is a really nice damage node. We don't usually get damage nodes in RF builds, so Light of Divinity, super strong. Next up, you've got two different ones. You've got Field Medicine, which at first may not look very good, but 40% increased effect of magic utility flasks is really good because you only use magic and unique. You don't use anything else. More so when you're in the budget version of most builds, you're on magic flasks. The reason this is so strong is because if you look at Field Medicine, if you were to click a flask, so let's click like one of these loadouts, if I pop a regular Sapphire, you can see you go up 7 max res. The reason that 7 max res is so strong is because in this league specifically in Phrecia, they're making it so that you get random area modifiers. And these are the ones that are excluded. What is not excluded is minus maximum resistance. As you guys know, minus max res means you're going to take more damage from your own Righteous Fire, so Paladin kind of comes out with a win here because Paladin gets the ability to run a Ruby Flask if they need to, specifically for the minus max, to help them overcap their fire res. So that's another big win. And the last one would basically be Bring the Battle. I don't know exactly which of these two you take first. You're definitely taking Anointed Champion and then Light of Divinity, and then it's kind of up to you. But this one makes it so when you press Enduring Cry, which you don't have to spam, it's usually good on bosses to keep up endurance charges. When you hit Enduring Cry, enemies taunted by you take 20% increased damage. So, very good. A nice, well-rounded Ascendancy. And the progression's pretty smooth. The only thing I would say I don't like about Paladin is I want to say you are leveling with, your choice of melee skill until Library, and then at Library you can do the swap to Righteous Fire. Because I don't think he gets the gems, and this location on the tree, the only Fire Mastery you can really get is like attack base, and then that's more of a respec. So at the beginning here, we did like a leveling with Spectral Throw. That's what people recommended for me. So I just made you guys a Spectral Throw template. Realistically, you can use whatever you want. Sunder, you know, whatever it is that you would enjoy. And then over here, we just put some basic information in for your Spectral Throw leveling. And then, of course, as you expand to the Righteous Fire, we have the gear set for you sustaining Righteous Fire here. This is at level 35. You have crazy net recovery. It's not really a problem. And in fact, if we check the Anointed Champion there, I don't know if it tags the Consecrated Ground here. Does it show it? Oh, there we go. It's already tagged on, yeah. Because I didn't make different loadouts for that. But very, very, very solid. And then you go through and you're pretty much at your Righteous Fire Chieftain now. If we look at the gearing, you can see a lot of it is really similar. And again, you don't need gear this good. This is just for people who want to go a little bit more, or people who make more currency rather than like level a lot, right? So we just have like pretty generic stuff. So this is a recommed weapon into a multi-mod, so it'd be like 2.5 divines or something. You could just get a weapon with high multi and craft increase and you're fine, vice versa. This is just a standard life gain on block shield. I will say we did a little bit of a different approach this go around, where we're crafting spell damage on the shield implicit or the shield prefix. And the reason for that is instead of going the standard Wall of Steel approach, we are taking Sanctuary because we want bonus elemental res as we're not a chieftain, and you want the bonus all res because you're not a chieftain. So by using that prefix craft, you can see we are hitting our block cap, and then we have our cheap Anoint, which is Aggressive Bastion. Of course, if you always want more damage, you could go for like Disciple of Unyielding, which is always a really nice one. Standard Elder Helm, Conch Burn, plus Area Gem. I am using Cloak of Flame, and you don't have to. You could go through the, the effort of using a different type of body armor, but if you're using a different type of body armor, like, say, Pure Armor, it's going to be incredibly rude to try to color for your body because you're looking for 3 blues. So take that with a grain of salt. I expect Cloak of Flame to not be as expensive because it's not in my build guide for Bog Shaman. So you can always replace this, like I said, with like a thick armor piece. Gauntlets, your gloves are always a big thing. More so on these builds because you want the fire exposure as it's big damage for you and applies on your fire trap or your frost blink. So gloves will always kind of be a little bit of a currency sink. They're really worth it. Legacy of Fury you do not need, but it will be your source of clear speed. So for players looking to add some extra oomph to their build, Legacy of Fury will give you the clear speed that you want. It's like your pseudo source of explode, not nearly as good as Hinakura, but also a lot more reliable, right? Amulet, pretty standard, life dot multi. If you want to go extra, get +1 gems, right? +1 fire. Standard rings, very heavy on the resistance here. Again, we're not a chieftain. This is to offset the immortal flesh. If you want to play a little bit more ballsy, you could go less res and rely on your flask to cap you, but I don't know if you really want to do that. If you're not using Legacy of Fury, which nobody is day one really, then you don't need as much res on your rings, which is good. So you'll have boots open for res, and then you can worry about this later. And then for your graphs, it's pretty standard. I like running the Flame Caller because it adds cover and ash. If you look at our damage here on the left, I'm going to uncheck cover and ash. You can see it's a noticeable damage increase. So you really want cover and ash, and all you got to do is pop your shield charge. It doesn't even have to matter about accuracy. What else do we have over here? Immortal Flat. Oh, actually, right here. And then I like getting the Old Graft for maximum life, and it gives you, whenever you get to low life, you get a recovery boost, and I believe you generate endurance charges. I want to say it's called Tender Embrace. And then just standard, like a max fire res jewel here with life, and a fire dot multi with life. You could replace this with dot multi, it is okay. The last thing to state, we'll go over the skills. Pretty standard. Tempest Shield, Purity of Fire, Flesh and Stone. Summon Skitterbot, Unbound Ailments, Blood Rage. Make sure your Skitterbot with Unbound Ailments is by itself. You don't want Unbound Ailments attaching to other things. It usually doesn't, but if you look at the mana here, it's always easy to mess this up. So be wary that your skills are in the right location. Fire Trap in Helmet with your standard links. Righteous Fire in Body Armor. Flammability, Enduring Cry setup. And then your Shield Charge. And that's it. So for people looking for an easier 90 with Righteous Fire, I would definitely represent Paladin. I will not be playing this. I want to play the spicy Bog Shaman that I kind of teased to you guys before. I'm really interested in that character, so With that being said, hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Hope to see you guys in Phrecia, and good luck on your level 90. Catch you guys all later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.